Which are the very best lists to target this year, 2023, in wholesale real estate? What's up, YouTube? Biz Matthew here. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to discuss which list to target this year. And 2023 is a special and unique year, just like every other year. But this one is interesting because we have a lot of talks of a recession coming upon us in the United States of America. We have a housing market crash that is super relevant to wholesale real estate, and we have inflation going on still. And so in today's video, I discuss foreclosure rates, house flipping activity, just housing market activity as a whole, and I curate a Propstream list so you all can target throughout the year of 2023. And Propstream is a real estate software website that you can use to find motivated sellers to target in order to get your first wholesale deal, or just to continue on getting more deals and find very targeted motivated sellers that you can either call or text or send out a mail in order to close more wholesale deals. So be sure to check out my link down below. With my link, you get a 7 free day trial. So be sure to check out Propstream down below. Now, it's very important to understand where the economy is going when you're making these lists, because, for example, back in 2021 or even 2022, you're probably not targeting the same exact list as you were targeting 2 or 3 or 4 years ago than what you have to target this year. For example, back in 2021, when there was a moratorium against foreclosures, you didn't really have to target people who were in pre-foreclosure or anything like that, because they were able to keep their house and save their money until they find a solution in order to pay off their debt because of everything that was going on, the pandemic going on. And so the government let people stay in their house. But now that those moratoriums are being lifted, pre-foreclosures are rising. And so you see how a year and understanding what's going on with the economy is very important to creating a motivated, targeted list in order to target for wholesaling real estate. I've done the research for you all, and so I'm going to share my screen with you all and show you all which list to target. I'm going to drill into Propstream, show you how to use the different filters and how to pull a list. This is the first report that I found. It's about home affordability, and they were talking about how it worsened across the U.S. in the fourth quarter of 2022. Now, I know they're talking about the fourth quarter of 2022, but they're bringing all of this into 2023. Right, all of this, worsening of the housing market is coming into 2023, and things are just going to be felt even more in 2023. So I do believe affordability is still going to be a huge issue in 2023, and we're going to see more declines of home prices because they said right here, we had an affordability issue, and then on top of that, we're still having an affordability issue despite even seeing some declines in home prices. And that's because, of course, interest rates are high. And so affordability is a huge issue. Home affordability report showing that the medium price single family homes and condos are less affordable in the fourth quarter of 2022 compared to historical averages in 99% of the counties across the nation. So they're saying that essentially everywhere in America, it's less affordable, right? In 2021, that was 68% of counties. Now they're saying 99% of counties are unaffordable. This is absolutely crazy that this is happening here in America. And so what does that tell us for wholesaling? So for me, this tells me that number one, home prices still need to go down, and interest rates are high, and it's affecting people going out and buying houses, right? And so people are flipping. Investors are probably not going to flip as many houses, or builders are not going to build as many houses because they know people are not going to buy as many houses because interest rates are high, right? And so that's going to move people from being a homeowner to being a renter. And so that's my first list. Try to find properties that your investor will want to hold, right? Buy and hold properties. And so on Propstream, let's go over here. This is the layout, and I have Nashville, Tennessee. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to find a property that is probably from a tired landlord. So essentially, it's a person who owns a property and they owned it for a good amount of years, right? And so they don't live in the property and they have a good amount of equity in the property. On top of that, we could say that the property is vacant. Maybe their renters move out or no one lives in there anymore. So what I'm going to do is here on Propstream, you do have these quick list choices that you could choose from. So for example, you can go right here and click tired landlords, but I'm just going to do it manually for you all. So right here, I'm going to put non-owner occupied. I'm going to put a vacant property. And I'm going to put ownership information. Let's say they own it for at least 4 years so they can have it before the pandemic. And then from here, I can also do equity information right here. Minimum equity, I want them to own at least 30% of it. And voila, you have a list of 324 people in 24 properties in this whole city of Nashville, which is pretty small. And honestly, the property doesn't have to be vacant. There could be tenants already in it. And so what I would do is I could click any right here. So that brings up the property a lot, right? So the next thing I'm going to do to drill that down even more is I'm going to increase this equity. I'm going to make it super high, like 70%. And that brings it down to still around 54,000. The other thing I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure they own the property. I want them to be a super tired landlord. So I put 10 years of ownership. And I'm going to put owner type of individual. And then the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go to property characteristic, and I'm going to do single family properties, condos, multifamilies 2 to 4, and multifamilies 5+. So that brought it down to 13,759 properties. Now, listen, this is a huge city. Most people are not going to target the whole Nashville city. And the thing about Propstream is that you can actually draw on it. So I can use this draw icon. And let's say I just want to target properties in let's say this area right here, like Brentwood. So I would click here, go down here, go down here, go down here, and then click search. And it will keep the same criteria that I had just made, but only look for properties in that shaded areas. And you can see that this is a manageable list to target, especially as a beginner. Just under 2,000 properties that you could target. Tired landlord. Make sure you all check Propstream down below. Use my link for a 7 free day trial. So that's the first list to target in 2023. Tired landlords, especially as they find a way to get out of a mortgage or get out of their house as we're coming into a recession. Now, the next list I want to target relates to this article I read, how home flipping declines again across the U.S. during third quarter of 2022 as investors' profit hit 13-year low. So home flipping is going down. And I know the other article related to flipping going down because people are not buying homes and they're renting. And this is the same thing. So it's just more evidence showing me that investors, they're not necessarily looking for flips or high profit, or because they know they're not going to get a high profit from their flip. So what's going to happen is that we're going to just find properties that are catered to people who can find properties that are not super expensive, because that's the main issue. People are not buying houses because interest rates are high. And so it's not affordable. Even though home prices may fall, let's say 10%, it's still not more affordable than the house being a high price because there were at least lower interest rates. And so I've talked to investors and they were saying, hey, between this range, I can sell properties all day long, during any type of economic downturn, right? And so talk to your investors. That is key. I know, for example, I talked to an investor. He was like, yeah, in between $150 and $275,000. I sell those properties during the recession. I sold them during, like they sell them all day long, right? No matter what state the economy is in. And so you have to look for those type of properties. And so talk to your investors, know what that price is in your area. And so on Propstream, we can do that. So right here, I'm going to, once again, go to filter. And I'm going to take this filter out, the non-owner occupied, right? So now it could be either owner occupied or non-owner occupied. Same thing, okay, the property types, years of ownership, we can adjust that if we need to. Individual, yes, and everything. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep this shaded part over here because it's a nice selection. But right here on valuation and equity, right? Estimated value of the property. So for example, I can put the minimum at, let's say, let's just make it like $70,000, right? And then the maximum value, I don't want to go over, let's say, 200,000. Okay, that's really low. Nashville's a little bit pricier. That's true. So let's put 285. Let's see what comes up. 601 properties. We can even go a little bit higher. 315. 992. So that's under 1,000. And so I'm looking for properties within that budget because I know a flipper will still be interested because they're not trying to go into a luxury flip during a market recession. And so I'm trying to find properties where it will sell no matter a downturn because it hits that price point that everyone can afford. The next list I want to target, and I mentioned it earlier in this video, is about foreclosures. So this article states that U.S. foreclosures completions increased annually by 64% in November 2022. Yeah, and I think that's very interesting to know because foreclosures have been on a moratorium for a while now, right? Because of the pandemic and everything. But now that banks are allowed to take hold of these properties, they're doing it. And we're going to see it more and more happening in 2023. So on Propstream, good thing is you have a quick list of pre-foreclosure quick list that you can click right here. And it's right here, pre-foreclosure. All right, so on Propstream, you do have a quick list, but for some reason, there's only 8 properties that show up in the whole city of Nashville, which is interesting. So most likely you'll probably have to contact your title company or some sort of agency or county clerk where they have information about pre-foreclosures or other things of that nature, because on Propstream it's not showing a lot of information yet. And maybe as 2023 goes on, this list will start to populate even more. So be on the lookout for this quick list choice targeting pre-foreclosures on Propstream. All right, you all, hope you all enjoyed this video on the best list to target on Propstream in 2023 for wholesaling real estate. Let me know your thoughts. Which list are you going to target in 2023? Make sure you subscribe to this channel, like this video, comment down below, and be sure to check out Propstream down below. All right, talk to you all later.